Well, we hear the title life coach quite a bit these days, but what exactly do they do, and do they really work? Well, we asked you to submit some of your dilemmas to us, and we asked life coach Kelley Kosow to come here on the show to help answer some of your questions, and she's here today from Miami, correct?
Yeah.
Good to have you here on the show. Okay. Kelley, what is a life coach? When I first hear it, the first thing I think of is mom and dad. I think it's your conscious. What's a life coach?
Well, life coaching is really about that discrepancy between where you are in your life and where you want to get.
Okay.
And so what we do is we use the past, we go into the past like therapy, and we find out what people's limiting thoughts are and what their limiting patterns are, so that we can then use that to break through whatever barriers have prevented them to getting where they want to go.
Do you have to then be kind of like a jack of all trades when it comes to every profession, every scenario in order to do that, or is it just a general template for everyone?
Well, it's not like I don't give financial advice, I don't give, you know, whatever kind of advice, but it's usually people have some sort of limiting belief about themselves. It all comes back to your beliefs about yourselves that are limiting you from getting where you want to go.
I hear a lot of people using the term life coach, that they're a life coach. Is there professional training involved with this? Is there?
Yeah, I mean, I got professionally trained. Now it's even in colleges you can get a life coach degree, but there's also the internet where, you know, you can pay X amount of dollars and in 2 weeks become a life coach. So,
great?
I mean, you know, you can get anything for fast.
So you want to make sure that you get the right credentials.
Yeah, you want to make sure where they've been trained, you know, get referrals, yes.
Because they're dealing with your life, folks. All right, so first thing we're going to do is go to a couple of these scenarios that we've got from people, real life scenarios. The first one is a submission that we got from Christina Marie. Take a look.
I'm a recent graduate from college, and my question is how to separate home issues, because there's always tension at home, with my career. How to keep focused in my career and how to keep my mind away from home issues, how to separate the two.
All right, so what would you say for Christina?
For Christina, well, Christina, the only way out is through. I mean, she eventually needs to deal with the problems, and there are statistics that show that any sort of tensions at home do filter into the workplace.
Right.
So at some point, she's going to need to deal with those problems. And so that, you know, because we can't compartmentalize our life.
Right.
So
put the other issues on the back burner.
I mean, you can try, you can put them down, but like the beach ball, they're going to come up.
Exactly.
And they're going to hit you in the face. So at some time you have to deal with them, but what she needs to get, it might not be hard. I mean, like if, let's say her parents are fighting at home. Well, maybe it's just an acceptance of that. Maybe she doesn't have to solve it and make it all better, but maybe it's just a shift for her just to accept that it is the way it is.
Figure out what she has to do in that situation to make peace with it. Okay, all right, that seems pretty simple.
Yeah, and so it doesn't have to be arduous or hard or heavy.
What about our next one? It's also a video submission that we got from Jenna Monchek. Let's see what she has to say.
I'm currently a teacher, and this is my 4th year, but I've been offered an opportunity to go teach in China for a year. I have some concerns, and so does my family, about the fact that I won't have a stable job in the U.S. after the year is over, and what that will mean for me finding a job in this economy. The job in China has great insurance and everything, but it's only for a year. So I was wondering if you had any advice for me or questions that I should ask, things that I should consider before I make this decision. Thank you.
Okay, so great opportunity for her.
Absolutely.
What would you say that
well, you can hear she's having that head versus her heart conflict.
Right.
And that's what happens with a lot of people. And it's great that she's thinking about, you know, what would be the repercussions. But really she has this voice of faith in one ear and this voice of fear in the other ear.
Right.
And the good news, I mean, you don't want to make your fear wrong, because it's a healthy fear, her asking questions, you know, finding out, well, what will happen when I go back. But she also wants to listen to that voice of faith that's saying to her, go for it, you know, go do it. So she really needs to get quiet and do, you know, kind of go inside and see what her heart is telling her.
Okay, but if she, again, if her heart is telling her half one way, half the other way, like how do you know which one's going to outweigh the other? If you have valid concerns about, you know, the repercussions of you leaving versus the repercussions of you staying, unless you go to a life coach, is that going to still be a difficult?
Really, it's about, is this a voice of fear or is this the voice of faith? The fact that she's manifested this great opportunity, obviously the woman is a manifester.
Right.
And so if she had faith that life is just going to flow, because none of us have guarantees.
Right.
So you want to be practical, but you also don't want fear of the maybe if to stop you, or she'll never do anything.
I just need you. I seriously need you just from beginning to end of the day. Honestly. Then we'd be all right. Thank you so much, Kelley. Appreciate it. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
There's still more of Better to come.